This is a code for Simon's game. In this code, we are trying to play a game where the game clicks on a sequence of colors, and the user is supposed to memorize the sequence of the color and click them accordingly to win a score. I'll first show you how the game works. Once we run the module, here, the game is playing a sequence, and me as a user, I have to click on the same color tiles to win. And as I do, my score gets increased. And this goes on till I play the correct sequence. If I play the wrong sequence, then it stops and my final score is displayed. Now I'm going to play a wrong sequence, and we can see that there's a message box that says wrong sequence and it shows my final score. So this is what is happening in this code. Now to explain the working of this code, first we have to import Kinter, random, time and message box. Here this is used for the UI, and random is used to generate a random sequence, and time is used to produce a delay between each clicks of the color. Here the color that is used for our display is red, blue, green and yellow, and our game is placed inside a class which is called as class Simon game. Here we first have initialized a constructor with self-enroll, and as you can see, this has a title name, that is Simon memory game. This has a size of 380 into 380. There are two arrays created. One is self.sequence and the other one is self-player underscore sequence. This array that is called a sequence holds the sequence of the game in which it enters the colors, and the array player underscore sequence plays the colors that is clicked by the user, and self.score displays the score. Here we are calling two functions, two methods, that is create widgets and start new game. So what we are doing in the method create widgets is we are first making a label which displays a score, and the font is also given here, it is mentioned. Then we are creating a label, then we are creating buttons, and the buttons are in the colors red, blue, green and yellow, and now their positioning is done here. As we know, we make the positions with the help of rows and columns. So the color red is in row 0, column 0. The color blue in row 0, column 1. Green in row 1, column 0. Yellow in row 1, column 1. And now below you can see a button that is called a start new game. And here the font, its height and width is also given. And here it has a command self.start new game. That is, when a user clicks this button, the method start new game is called. Now, when we talk about the method start new game, what happens here is the sequence and score. We are starting a new game, so the sequence and score is reset. That is, the value, whatever value is present, is changed to its default state, and then the score is shown. And here, when we start a new game, after a second, that is 1000 milliseconds, that is displayed here. That is, after 1 second, the colors start getting added to the sequence, and that is done with the help of add to sequence method, and that is shown here. Here, every time this is called, a new color is appended to the method, okay, to the array, and it is done with the help of random. Here, any one color in this array, from this array, any one color is selected randomly and placed inside the array. Once we take play sequence, what happens is our code has generated a sequence. Now the colors in the sequence are displayed. They are displayed with the help of flash buttons. That initialization is done with the help of this method, and here, once after the flash buttons are set, then the buttons are enabled for the user to, for the gamer to play. And what happens in the method of flash button is the buttons will rise and sunk according to which it is selected. And here we can see that the configuration is given sunken and risen, and here they have also given a time for rest which is called as time.sleep, and here 0.5 second is used for that. Once the buttons are enabled, the buttons are in the normal state and the player can play, and once they are in the disabled state, then this buttons are disabled. Here, when the player plays their input, when the player plays their chance, the buttons that are clicked by the user is compared to the sequence that is already present, or that is already taken by the game. So here what we do is we check if the player sequence and the game's sequence is equal or not, and if it is not equal, then the message box will show us an information that is game over, wrong sequence, and it will display the final score, and it will start a new game. Here self.start new game starts a new game again. But if the player sequence and self sequence is equal, then the player score is incremented by 1, and the score is also incremented, and the buttons are displayed so that the computer, or so that the code can play it once again. And here too, time of 1000 milliseconds or 1 second is taken. Now this is present inside our class Simon game, and for this entire code to work, we need to call the function with the help of name, and once a function is called, this is going to work in a loop. To display it once again, this is how it would work. You click a number, the score gets incremented. This is the rise and sunk of the buttons, and now the user can play it. And if there is any error in the user's play, then the output is displayed in a message box showing the final score and the wrong sequence. Thank you.